Angels versus demons. Which of these two types of spirits should you work with, and why? Well, the answer is not particularly straightforward or simplistic, that you should only work with angels or only work with demons. There is a lot of crossover. Some traditionally demonic spirits, in my opinion, are more angelic, and vice versa. And also, I think that any particularly talented and experienced magician should be able to work with either, and sometimes both, of these spirits without any potential risk or damage. Now, in saying that, I think that it should also be mentioned that these spirits are complementary to work with. Any magician worth their salt doesn't need to work with these spirits. They choose to work with these spirits. So what I mean by that is, if you are not experienced enough to do a successful money spell without using the energy of Mammon or Belial or some kind of heavy hitting spirit like that, then you're probably not experienced enough to be working with spirits of that nature. The whole point is that these are complementary to the practice, that they are to assist and enhance, but you should be able to work without these spirits perfectly safely. So what are the main differences between angelic and demonic spirits? Well, in really simplistic terms, on the demonic-divine side, I prefer to use divine, they will change the environment to bring the results that you're working for. So again, if we bring it to money spells, you will be wanting to do a spell or ritual to bring money, because outside of this spell you haven't mastered the craft of money. You need money, and there's no shame in that. So you will do a 9-day ritual with Belial, and at the end of that 9 days you will have brought money in. So that's changing the environment. You're not changing yourself. When you work with angelic spirits, again, slightly simplistically, but I think it is correct and applies, they will change you. So you will become a person that has learnt the craft, learnt the technique, learnt the industry maybe that you need to learn, and then you will have that flow, that attraction of money. So can you see the difference there? That you're changing either the environment around you to bring it in, or you're changing yourself. Now, there is some crossover. It's not as simplistic as that. If you were, say, working with Lucifer, quite often known as a demonic spirit, I see Lucifer as pure angelic, archangel, right at the top of, the vibrational energy field. I don't class Lucifer in that, demonic term. I see him kind of a mixture of both, but anyway, I digress. If you're working with a spirit like Lucifer, a lot of that will be internal, where you have to change the internal aspect of yourself to bring the success that you want. So it's not as straightforward as, there's two camps, and there's the demons on this side and the angels on this side, and they don't, they're in a battle with each other and they don't get on or anything like that. It's really not, it's not as cinematic or as childish as that. It's a lot more in-depth and complex. These spirits are all, in my opinion, from the same source. They're just different aspects. So in saying that, there is an aspect that you need to look at of short versus long term. Particularly in modern society, things just seem to be speeding up quicker and quicker and quicker. People that have the patience, it is quick gratification, quick fix. And I think a lot of people are attracted to the demonic side because it's just this quick fix. Okay, I can do a money spell, I get some money, I spend that money, now I need to do another money spell, I get some money, I spend it, and it's just this cycle. I think some long-term planning, yes, every now and again, your car breaks down, you need £1,000, $1,000, whatever it is to fix it, otherwise you can't get to work. Yes, a quick money spell there is perfect, because you'll bring that money in and then you'll be able to get to work. But in general terms, if you're wanting long-term success, you're wanting to have a lifestyle change, a career change, then you need to think a bit more longer term than just quick money spell. Can I get £20? Can I get £50? But there is, there is that payoff on the demonic side, that you don't have to do the challenging work, the shadow work, the disruption that you often have to do on the angelic side. There's always this kind of myth that demons are hard to work with, angels are easy to work with. You can literally flip that round the other way. You will be tested and made to change aspects of your life with angelic magic. And it's very, very challenging for a lot of people. It can be very scary. It can be very destructive. As you strip away things that are holding you back, you may not want to let go of those things. The thing with angelic magic is that you always, when you reach that end point, you come out of it a better person. But you do have to metaphorically walk through the fire sometimes, not always, to get to that point. So look at it this way, in really, really basic, simplistic terms. Would you rather work on the divine side and you maybe have to do the type of magic semi-regularly? Or would you rather do the really challenging angelic work where you never have to do the spell again because you've changed what you needed to change inside? I don't think there's any right or wrong in particular. You also, on the divine side, the more that you work with the spirit, the more that you'll build that relationship as well. If you do it correctly, you don't want to be relying on it, but you want to build it as either a friendship or a business partnership, if that's what you're going for. So there are, ups and downs to each side. So angels versus demons, it's really down to your choice. You can also work with them together as well. So, for example, Raphael and Marbus work perfectly together for healing. That can be emotional healing as well as physical healing. They're a great combination. So there isn't a particularly simplistic answer. Neither side is particularly easy. There's a lot of crossover where they are kind of a lot of the times in the middle or on both sides. And both come with challenges and bonuses as well. Now, what do these spirits want? There's a lot of sort of mythology, particularly on the demonic side, that you work in terms of pacts. You make a pact with Lilith, you make a pact with Lucifer, and you're bound by that pact. That's not reality from my experience. First of all, these are relationships. If you're working with Lucifer and you have a specific goal and you ask for help with this goal and you get some kind of message or information back that, okay, I can help with this, but I want you to do this, and it's not something that you want to do, then you just say no. It's as simple as that. You are in charge. You can just say no and walk away, or offer an alternative. These spirits will never ask for anything harmful to yourself or other people. You will never be asked to harm yourself, to attack someone, to do something that will hurt someone. Never, never, ever, ever. If that's what you're getting through, then there's either a psychological issue on your side, or you're not talking to the spirit that you think you're speaking to, And that means that you're not a magician of the talent that you think you are, and you need to pull back and learn how to do things better. So what do they actually want? I think on both sides, depending on the spirit and the type of work, they often want you to succeed, become a better person. That is their payoff in a lot of cases. But not always. Sometimes spirits want experience. So something very strong tasting you can offer during the ritual. I've heard of some people biting really acidic fruit like lemons, offering a glass of strong scotch or bourbon is a very common thing, red wine, things that are strong in taste and flavour. Some people offer cigarettes or tobacco, and the theory is, and sort of from my experience, is that when you're working with these spirits, when they're in your ritual space and you give this offering, they can experience it. They can taste that scotch. They can smell that incense or whatever it is that you're offering. They can consume it in some way, and they like that. So that's often what they want. Some would like more dedication. So, for example, Mammon, if you were to do sort of a long-term ritual with Mammon, the one that I've done is 21 days, and you do 21 days. You cannot miss a day, otherwise you have to start again, reset the whole thing of ritual. It's not all day, but it's a good couple of hours at night for me. And believe me, 21 days is quite a commitment. It is quite a commitment when you've got other work going on in life and whatever. But that is kind of the point of it. If you show that commitment, that dedication, that sort of really going inside yourself, then that brings the results that you're wanting. But the payoff is that you put an enormous amount of energy into the work and an enormous amount of dedication and time. Time is a very, underrated, valuable asset. It's the one asset that you pretty much cannot get back. So giving your time is a great dedication and offering as well. But on the angelic side, in general, for me, it's more about just the self-work, going inside, the shadow work, the changing your environment and yourself to move in the direction that you want to and possibly should be going as well. Not particularly offerings. That's not really their thing from my experience. Right. I think that covers angels versus demons. There is no holy war. There never was. They're not in the clouds sword fighting or, throwing Hadoukens at each other or whatever else nonsense people may have claimed that has happened. They are sort of literally from like an overall kind of thing, but they're just often different aspects or polar aspects of the same thing, if that makes sense. Anyway, thank you for watching. Go and work with an angel, a demon, both. Go and enjoy it, have fun with it, and subscribe, please. I would appreciate it. Thank you.